centers where other activities are done by the native language, the Turkish language. Here in Masjid al-Tawbah Mosque, normally in a Friday sermon, I give my speech in two languages, Arabic and English, and I try to tackle the most important and immediate issues which touch the needs of every individual Muslim, and particularly I'm trying to make evaluation to the Western civilization from Islamic point of view, because some of the Muslims here are suspicious about the Western culture. Some of them cannot understand, cannot differentiate about what's good, what is wrong, what to accept, what to reject, how to communicate. My role here every Friday is the process of adjustment, how to help immigrants to know the needs of their presence in this country within Europe and European civilization, by the aid of Islamic instruction, so they trust my work when I give, for instance, about peaceful coexistence, the avoidance of double moralities. A Muslim should be clear inside out when he deals with others. We do not agree on double morals, any cheating, on whatsoever. We have to be straightforward. This is one single example. In this school, in this mosque also, we conduct in weekends some circles for basic Islamic studies, because we think this is the real remedy. When we educate Muslims and they know about Islam, we avoid extremism and aggressive behavior. A Muslim can behave in a good way with his real understanding of Islam. Another point is socialization, which is very important to the members of any minority in any country, is to meet each other and to have good contacts, etc., for their mental health and satisfaction. We try to use mosques as places to conduct wedding parties, birthday parties, where every individual can come enjoy himself in a pure Islamic atmosphere, in a very simple way, where he can meet Muslims, talk to them, feel friendly time, etc., etc., and go back to his house once again and to his job the next day. This is very briefly about the practical side. As I have mentioned, we have also the contact with official bodies. For instance, a long time ago, about 10 years, we have published this book. It was first published in USA, Parents of Muslim Children, and then translated to Danish under the name Barn of Muslim for Elder. We are going to reprint this book again and make it available for every interested Danish person to know, especially the needs of Muslim children in schools and in different areas. I will put you in the picture also about the work in the whole of Europe. This book is called, or booklet, The Muslim Guide. It's published in Britain. It's the same, you know, in Britain there is about 2.5 million Muslims. They are, could consider the majority in some cities. They are running municipality and so on, building mosques and so on. So this book have been published in Britain. All what a Muslim needs in his job, education, healthcare, in hospital is written here by some qualified scholar. So the British officer, when he come across a Muslim, he will not be puzzled because of different answers. You come to Ahmad Abu Laban, he will give you an answer. You go to the Turkish Imam, he will give you another answer, and you will become somehow confused. Islam and the reality of Islam and the main instructions of Islam are the same. So to help people in the West to understand, those who do not have time to go through Quran and other books of Islamic law, this could be made very helpful to them, and this is what we are trying to put it in front of every interested European. Dear guests and ladies and gentlemen, this is my brief introduction about Islam, from its ideological understanding, about personal obligations, about the social needs, about the different centers and mosques here in Denmark, the practical situation of immigrants in general, and some points about also Muslims in other countries of Europe. After we take our break, you will have the opportunity, as Tim have mentioned, to put your question, and I will do my best to give you the answer which coincide with the basic Islamic instructions. And thank you for listening, and we shall meet after break. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you, Abu Laban. And I think we will have a kvarter, 20 minutter, noget lignende.
Yes. And it will be disaster. Now, dear guests, we are going to start once again, and as you know, it's an open debate. Any comment, any question, any problem you like to discuss, please feel free to put it. We shall take it with good feelings, and I will do my best to give you the precise Islamic answer. It's your turn now.
Og jeg vil forsøge at oversætte, hvis I foretrækker at spørge på dansk. Men så er det for egen risiko. De finere nuancer kan forsvinde, men jeg skal gøre mit bedste, og jeg skal også forsøge at få alle med.
You said that your role as an imam was to participate in the process of adjustment. If you could put one, perhaps two wishes to us as teachers, how we can participate in that process of adjustment, what would you want?
It's a nice offer. I think the main point is to get rid of any prejudice and bad impression about Islam. This is the main barrier which had prevented people in Europe to have a good and nice contact with Muslims everywhere. We have in our background some idea about Islam and Muslims. So first of all, your openness to read about Islam and to know about it and to understand is the very beginning. Secondly is the positive reaction with the need of the pupil. If he is in a certain problem, you come near to him and show your interest to help him in solving this problem and to get advice. Maybe sometimes the pupil is not aware of the real Islamic answer. It could be his own problem, not an Islamic one, not a religious one. So if you get consultation from a Muslim advisor, it will be very helpful. And to explain to them that you as a teacher has the goodwill to help them in their education and to help them in all what they may need for their future. Once we have this kind of a trust from both sides, we can build a lot of things in a very nice way. That's it. I cannot ask you more because I know you are well established in your country. You have, like our meeting today, you have your budget, your plans, your researches, everything to understand what's going on in this country and to be aware about these needs and so on. So I think in general, from the Danish side, things are satisfactory, but it is our weakness, our shortcoming. The field workers here among immigrants are very few and the needs are too many. We are overloaded. I think also you are aware about what they call it criminality among Muslim teenagers, etc. It is one sign, one evidence about the lack of care within the Muslim family and the religious advisors, the people who could understand the real needs of teenagers in this puberty age who are brought up within a Western culture, how to receive them, how to build a relation with them, how to direct them to use their time and energy and talent in a positive way, not in a negative way or aggressive way, and so on. This is my answer.
Jeg spørger på dansk. Jeg synes, der er et lille problem i, at forældrenes opfattelse af vigtigheden af at komme til forældremøder. Jeg oplever det sådan, at forældrene lover at komme til et forældremøde, hvor vi så arrangerer med tolke. De kommer ikke, de forældre. Beskeden lyder så på, jamen der kom en nær besøgende. Og det vil i realiteten sige, at de prioriterer deres familie eller venner i forhold til, at de faktisk havde lovet at komme til et forældremøde. Danskere, fornemmer jeg i hvert fald, prioriterer anderledes, sådan at man ligesom synes, man skal overholde den aftale. Også fordi det er utrolig vigtigt med skole-hjem-samarbejde. Der synes jeg er et problem.
The question is about the cooperation between home, the parents and the school. The problem is said to be that sometimes the Muslim parents do not come to the meetings arranged by the school, even if they said they did. Some other things often seem to come in between. Could you?
Number one, the objective of the majority of immigrants everywhere is to have better jobs and better payment and more savings. It's the money. It's the main interest. And the more they suffer, they like to go quicker to their home country. So they are more involved in work, overtime, and to collect more money. They have the dream to go back and to resettle. This is number one. So their reaction to the need of the school, the teacher, to communicate with them, to have a common understanding about the problem of this particular pupil and how it could be done in the future is not available. This is number one. Number two, a lot, as I have mentioned before, of immigrants, especially in Scandinavia, hadn't finished even the basic education. The idea of education, the spirit of education itself as a value in modern civilization is not available. So why should they respond and go? The third one, which I suffer because I have 6 children, if I attend every parent, it means I need a lot of time. I think also the birth average or rate among Muslims and Muslim immigrants, the number of children in the family is bigger than the Danish. You have 1 child or 2, maybe maximum 3. Most of the Muslim families here have 2, 3, 4. I have 6. My wife is attending here. She had contributed. She will have also the opportunity to contribute this time to show the responsibility of mother within a Muslim immigrant family here in the West. So I think it's the third point. Whenever we have a family of 4 children or 5, I think in certain point the parents cannot follow up to attend these meetings. From my side, as I have mentioned, we try to tell people we are not living in a Muslim country. We have a lot of challenges. It's not only to survive. My point of view, you may feel that I'm arrogant or whatsoever. It's not like that. But my point, it's not the survival. I think Islam can contribute, as had done before, to the modern civilization. The philosophy of education in Islam, the philosophy of politics, etc. We have to do that, not only to take from Europe. Our role is to give, as had done before, as had happened before. And unfortunately, a lot of Muslims still, we can find an excuse, especially for refugees who are trying to find a safe place. They are trying to adjust themselves to the new atmosphere and so on. But in general, I think the spirit of religion, of religious person, is to give, not to get. Because we are speaking about spiritual values, not materialistic one. And Muslims now should know about this responsibility, should know about their heritage, they should know about the validity in Islam in all aspects to give the answer. Let's put it, take it or leave it. We cannot force people. But I think this is the point. Anyhow, and in general, as I have been discussing with team in this break, in the pause, that from both sides, the awareness, the standard of knowledge from both sides about the other side is being improved year after year. And now Muslims become, as I have mentioned, to rent a place, to have a center, to invite families, young people, adults, and so on, to educate, to communicate with the Danish authorities. It shows that things are improving, but we have to push it more and more. We have to cooperate to make it better in the future.
Der sidder og kunne tænke sig at spørge om noget, enten i forhold til islam in general, eller i forhold til jeres arbejde i nogle af de muligheden for at som det lidt at konfrontere Abu Laban med jeres spørgsmål, det er jeg sikker på.
Mr. Hajjaj from Denmark Radio, the Arabic department, yes.
Society is concerned. Looking at Islam, there are a lot who might be nervous about anything new, including a new religion. Do you really believe that Islam can live as a religion in this society, and why?
I agree with you. Let me put you in the picture. I brought with me a book written by a former minister of information in Tunisia. It was published in French first, and it was translated to English, Islam, Fear and Hope. This man was assuming a post as a minister in Tunisia. Tunisia is a secular country. Up till now, they have Sunday as a holiday, not Friday. The Islamic law is abolished by Al-Habib Bourguiba, the former president, etc. This man was appointed as a minister of information. He has a good knowledge about Western culture. He speaks good French. And he wrote very clearly about the impression of Europe that Islam is a threat. And he is trying to bridge this gap, to tell people in the West about their impression and the reality of Islam as a threat. My answer is, let's go back to history. First of all, some parts of Europe had embraced Judaism. Moses was not a European man, but his religion, as a religion from God, from Allah, the commandments of Torah, the law, the Jewish law, had spread to some parts in Poland, Romania, and so on. So Moses had been born in Egypt, and then went to Sinai, and his religion and faith came to Europe. This is number one. Secondly, Jesus. Jesus was born in my country, Palestine, here, and his religion have been embraced by the Roman Empire in the year 300 something and 10 by the Emperor Constantine, and then Christianity had spread. Jesus is not a Danish man, a German man, but European had liked him too much and had embraced his faith. So what about Islam? Muhammad is the cousin of Jesus. So why should we keep this kind of fear? I mean, why shouldn't we have open mind to think? If Islam is bad, just forget about it. Finish with it. If you feel that Islam can be helpful, the same way Christianity had played a role, it's very integrated with the European culture and civilization. We cannot split them. We cannot strip one of the other. So Christianity was not born in Europe, was born in Palestine in the Middle East. And Jesus was not a European man, and you embraced his faith. From the same principle and point of view, I'm urging Europeans to reconsider the situation and to forget about the bad propaganda against Islam, Islam as a threat. In my opinion, I should tell that I'm not advocating Islam. Give yourself time to read carefully. I think Islam is the promising face to the mankind. We shall, my generation and the coming generation, will give a good example about Islamic civilization. It will attract every person everywhere to come and read and to know about it, even if he is not willing to embrace Islam or to believe in the oneness of Allah or the last testament, the Quran, as the word of Allah. So I can live here. Islam is an easy, we say one of the characteristics of Islam is easiness, that you cannot compromise. There is no compromise in Islam. Easiness, it means you have some concession in Islam, some permission to adjust yourself, keeping your faith and dealing kindly and gently and peacefully with other people. Our presence here, more graduates from German universities in medicine, technology, industry, etc., gives you an example that a Muslim, a committed Muslim, is more efficient, is working hard, is trying to give good image and good example about Islam. It's not difficult to live here, it's the contrary. I think with the available dictatorship and secularism in all of our countries, for me, after 10 years in Denmark, I feel I am more safe here in Denmark. I'm sorry to say that, but this is the reality. I am speaking about Islam. You have the initiative. You decided to be our nice guests here in the mosque. But in my country, if I speak about genuine Islam, the authorities will not be pleased with me, because now it's the problem of power. Who is going to seize power? And they are afraid of the spread of Islam in our countries. For sure, and believe me, I have heard this comment of many of people here after Friday sermon. Those who have been in vacation to Morocco, to Egypt, to Lebanon, to Turkey, and so on, they said, we feel that we are more safe here under the opportunity of democracy, with view to preservation of human rights as being practiced now in Europe. We feel here more happy to practice Islam. Actually, there is some sort of misunderstanding of friction between European values and culture and Islamic one, but we are trying to sort them day after day and to come near to each other. So this is the point. We are here. I do hope that as you know, what we call it the Islamization of knowledge in all sciences, in sociology, psychology, we are trying to give people in the whole world the Islamic contemporary understanding of the issues, common issues of mankind. I do hope that day after day we can know about them and we get rid of that fear about Islam and the Islamic threat.
Being a female teacher, it can be very difficult to deal with young boys from Islamic countries,
Yes.
because they do not respect us. So what do you think about that? What can we do about it?
A teacher in Islamic culture is a symbol of the Prophet. The biggest teacher for us is Prophet Muhammad. His companions are the second class of teachers. And in Islam and original Islamic commandments, it's a sin. It's a sin if you do bad to your teacher. A teacher is a person who is trying to help you and educate you. And this is what Prophet Muhammad have put very clearly. But again, we shouldn't mix up between those who are being brought up in a good Muslim family and those who had come from a certain social situation, who are not aware about that. And me, I was in Egypt as a Palestinian. I was brought up in Egypt and Egyptian schools. And a lot of my teachers were females. And I used to respect them because this is what my family had instructed me to do. It's not discrimination. If the teacher is a man, I have to be afraid of him or to respect him. If she is a woman, it's the contrary. No, we have to do good to our teachers, the adults, our parents, and this is one of the basic points in the Islamic moralities. If you tell me about these people and their families, I will do my job and draw their attention about the bad behavior of their children.